All right. What's going on, folks? I'm going to do a great interview with King Femi, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. So, how's it going, man?
How's it going, Carlos?
It's going good, man. So your rap name is King Femi, right?
It is.
All right. And what's your real name? If people don't know. You don't have to say what it is.
Well, my real name is Femi, for all intents and
Oh,
purposes.
okay,
Femi is my real name.
okay.
Like
And
everybody who I grew up with knows me as Femi.
gotcha. And where are you originally from?
I'm originally from the island of Bermuda, not the triangle, the island.
Gotcha. That's funny. Triangle, but well, that's another topic.
That's
um,
a lot of topics.
yeah. And how long you been doing rap?
Well, I've been like rapping since I got to America, pretty much. Like I got here when I was 16 in boarding school, and that was when I kind of caught the bug of like recording. Me and my friends back in Bermuda, we kind of would joke around rapping, being like at lunchtime type thing. But as far as like actually recording music, I started when I was 17. If you're like a true King Femi fan, you can validate that. You can go back to my discography from that time on up. I mean, it's been a while now. But I released my first album like in 2020. January 1st, I released Live the Ball, and then that kind of like was like the rollout. I was on tour like that whole like era. And what was it, November 6th, I believe. Like it was right around the time of the election, because the election took the whole time up of promoting, and they literally banned my page because they said I was like promoting political content, which I was not. I
Ah,
have to come on the record and say I was not doing that. Uh,
cancel culture, man. It's too much.
well, I'm back. I mean, it's not too much to
Yeah,
revive. Everybody has their moments. I mean, the thing is, I was like, I had been viral prior to that. I guess because of what I had been viral for, it was like they didn't want me to say anything during the election. It wasn't like
yeah,
I was ready. I was rapping about rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not rap. I was
yeah,
rapping about like, things that had nothing to do with Biden and Trump. But
yeah.
thing is
But you know,
that kind of but that was the start. That was my first album. That was my first
yeah.
album. That was 3 years ago now. I released my second album last year in December, and I'm working on my third album now.
Oh man,
But
that's
so I
awesome.
guess officially, as far as the records are concerned, it's been 3 years as of now.
Well, you know what's funny? That's interesting you say that because I noticed a trend now. America is a free country and it's great and it's awesome, but certain things like different genres of rap. For example, you could you could rap, you could say, hey, bitch, ho, whatever, and everything, all kind of stuff, N word, blah, 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 and talk about, killing XYZ or blah, blah. But the minute you say something like, I don't know, that's against, I guess, the the current status flow politically, just happens to be in the song, they extrapolate that, but everything else is fine. It's like, okay. I was like, what in the
Well,
world?
sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, man.
Now, those other moments that we're talking about, those other references are usually like matters between civilians. Once you
Yeah.
start talking about the president, once the president's, like the topic at question, they don't play any games, because now we're talking about the leader of those civilians. I mean,
Yeah.
a bitch, oh, like what is that? Like, you know what I mean? Who cares? That's entertaining. That's what rap is. I mean, for
Yep.
all intents and purposes, Bill Clinton, he had bitches too. He had hoes too. Everybody, you know what I'm
Yes, he
saying? We
did.
all,
Oh,
everybody, like
yes, he did.
everybody. I got my new song is called Vices, bro.
Mhm.
Everybody has a vice, like, you know what I mean. So when you're rapping about vices, you're just touching on people's feelings, man. But once you start talking about, all right, like, because you have to understand, once you start talking about like someone whose level of responsibility is to make sure we all eat tonight, then I mean, like, it's kind of like, wow, we don't really want to step on his toes. Actually, I'm gonna go out of my way. This is what they say. They say They say, I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure that he knows I'm on his side by just Xing you out the picture for the time being, even if you didn't do anything, because I want him to look at me a certain way. It's up to you on the other end of that to be like, hey, this guy's just sucking dick right now. Like, he's not really on your side. He's trying to feed his family. And then,
Yeah.
you happen to be like triumphant at that, they give you awards and stuff. But like, I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily like being particular about it. But I
Right.
don't look at it like, hey man, like there's like thing is we should be as rappers allowed to create art. And I think again, once you start crossing political boundaries and political lines, that's when things do get mixed up. But again, I didn't say anything against the president or involved in politics at all. I think
Mhm.
because I'm a polarizing figure that they have taken it upon themselves to say, well, if he chooses to do that in the next 3 days, it could affect the election. And let's not leave it up to chance.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think it's crazy. Your creativity should not be stifled based upon, I think, a certain agenda, because that's what makes America great. You get into, oh, you know what, et cetera, et cetera. You got your freedom, but only to like this point. So, what are your influences,
Uh,
and what drives you?
my first influence would have to be Jesus Christ.
Okay,
I
amen,
believe
brother.
that, amen. I believe that he was honestly somewhat of a rapper of sorts because he was like, he ran around speaking in parables to people and then they crucified him for it.
Mm,
Only to find out that he was on their side the whole time. I mean, but it's one of those things that, like, you can really take that in context because, you know, that's a faith thing. So as far as like my influences that I can really just say, hey, this is who inspired me to become great, I'd have to say like first and foremost, like okay, I used to rap, but Future made me want to become a rapper. Like Future
mm,
is like he's honestly like the camp I got into the music industry under was his camp essentially. So I mean, he's the one that made me see like in person. Like I watched this man go from being like a guy just making songs to being like somebody who could sell his catalog for like how much he sold it for, like 75 million or something. I mean, like I've seen it happen because of him. And
mm,
obviously my parents and like I said, Jesus Christ will be that's a real one. My parents are a real one because my parents, not for nothing, like they own like probably the number one pharmacy where I come from, and I own it with them. Like we own like a legitimate, you know what I'm saying, successful business, and to see somebody start that from scratch from a child on up, obviously left an imprint on me to even have the gall to like look at somebody like Future from the ground on up because he was just another guy at the time.
mm,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But I've seen somebody who was just another guy become somebody who's a mega superstar. And I can't deny the fact that it happens. And the fact that I'm talking about my parents, is I wouldn't say they're mega superstar. I'm just my dad actually, okay, this is the other thing. My dad, he actually made movies. Like I can't forget that. He was a producer, he's a director and actor. He worked with
Wow.
Bill Cosby, Steve Harvey. I am not first generation to do this. I am just the first Bermudian rapper. So
Mm.
inspiration wise, I'd say the same guys that everybody looks up to, like the superstars. Those guys are kind of like my uncles, and those are all my inspirations. But as far as what I do, Future.
Oh, that's interesting, man. That's cool. Um, it's interesting because you mentioned Jesus. It sounds real spiritual, and very few rappers do mention. Not that I'm promoting any particular religion, but I believe in spirituality and I believe in God. But like some of the older groups like Run DMC and other people, they'll mention God, but nowadays you rarely see that. I mean, you rarely hear that. It's kind of like what's his name? Uh, what's the guy's name? He was in Jurassic Park, the newer guy. He was in Parks and Recreation. What the heck is that dude's name? Uh, oh, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. The guy with the two guns, jetpack.
Yeah,
I don't know his name. I know who you're
dang.
talking about. I cannot
Yeah,
remember his name.
he's not a rapper, but interesting. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Really, he's a really guy. But anyway, he was at award. I think it was
Is it
Nickelodeon or
Chris?
something. Yeah, I think Chris something maybe. It's not Chris Evans. I know that. That's Captain America. But he was like, yeah, he was like, he said, "I'd like to thank God," and he said, "Don't let anyone suppress who you are," all this kind of stuff. Um, and I remember, interestingly enough, he didn't say anything political, but some people were upset because he mentioned, sort of God. They didn't get stop his murals or anything like that. Um, but that's it's very interesting that you would actually, actually you say that when a lot of people either they don't believe in it or maybe they're just too afraid to. I don't know, whichever comes first.
Well, I mean, I can relate to that. One of my first performances, when I was on tour, I was like, I kind of start preaching at the end of the service, and one of the guys in my group was like, "Hey, man, I read you, but some people get offended by that when you mention God, because he's thinking about the money and like all the people that might be kind of turned away from something that might conflict with what they believe in, right?" So I understand, but I do believe that before any level of like entertainment, I have a responsibility as a Christian to like to help save souls, to help point people in the direction that I believe will lead to eternal salvation. I don't want to
Oh,
get deep
okay.
on here because you can listen to your pastor on how to do that. I'm just
Mm,
saying, go listen to the pastor, right? But what
gotcha.
I also am saying is, even on behalf of Run DMC, I know they're kids, man. Like I'm cool with Jason, like Jam Master
Oh,
Jay's son.
wow.
Rest in peace to Jam Master. I'm gonna pull up pictures because I don't think you believe it. I got like even his nephew, his son. Like
Yeah.
these guys are my friends. Shout out to Richie and Jason, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, 2020 was just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? If you guys know, then you know. But to pull up these pictures for you, bro. Because I want to say on behalf of Run DMC, even Rev
Yeah,
Run, he literally sits in a bathtub reading Bible scriptures. I think it's one of
yeah,
those things people either catch on later on in life. I'm not gonna say too late. It's never too late. People either catch on later on in life or they spread like the real message that helped them get to where they are later on in life. I'm not. This ain't a secret. Jesus is
yeah.
good. Like, you know what I'm saying? But let me find these pictures for you guys, man. Hold on. They in here. They in
Wow,
here.
that's
They in.
crazy, man. I never knew you had connections like that. That's pretty cool.
Well, you never know till you ask, my brother. I
Yeah.
mean, some things aren't just, I guess, spoken on. All right, look, this is me and Dirty, ODB's son.
Holy cow. Now, does he rap now?
He does. I think he's also branching off into other genres. And this
Right.
is the guy in the purple, not this purple, because that's a
Gotcha, gotcha.
different purple. This is a different purple. But this guy right here,
Yeah.
that's Jam Master Jay's son. Rest in peace to Jam
Wow.
Master Jay. And that's
Yeah.
his nephew. That's Richie. He raps, and that's Jason. He also raps, and that's me. That's King Femi. He's the king of rappers.
Wow, man. You gotta get him on here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just spoke to Richie like a month ago. I mean,
Right, right.
they live in they said we all travel around every now and then, so it's hard to stay like in the same room as everybody all the time. But I
Yeah.
just spoke to Richie, and it's nothing, bro. Like to get on, we all can. honestly, what I really want to do is have like a sit down podcast type of vibe. Like, you know what I mean? Eventually
Yeah,
we
right.
should be able to come together and just and do this as a community because these guys' parents started this shit, bro.
Yeah.
I literally spoke to Richie's grandfather. Like potentially, I didn't ask. Richie, I apologize. I still have to figure this out. I don't know if it was Jam Master Jay's dad or his mom's dad, but I spoke to Richie's grandfather, and we had a great conversation. Like, I mean, either way, he was a father of, you know what I mean? He was either the father or father-in-law, ish, whatever the case is. Like, I don't know this particular family tree and the particulars of it. But I spoke to this man and I'm like, yo, you guys started something great that I'm gonna finish. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
that I'm gonna continue. And then obviously if I say finish, then it sounds like hip hop will die on my sword, which would be crazy. So I'm gonna continue what they started. And I mean with pride and honor. I mean, damn, bro. Like I take this shit to another level that people haven't really dreamed of.
Yeah. Speaking because you were talking about doing a whole group thing, if if you guys want, I don't know if it's whatever since getting together with guys, but if you want, we could all get on at one time, like once a month. They're like round robin, and I would love to just be in the mix of that. That interview will probably be long, but I'll sit there and be like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Blah blah blah, hear all the stories, whatever. I love to hear stories.
Okay. Well, I'd have to say I can't. I will be remiss if I did not. If I didn't take a moment of silence to acknowledge the fact that probably the most standout guy from the group. He was the oldest. He was the most senior. He was more connected than probably any of us. We met. I got connected also with like Wu Tang and whatnot, like the ODB son.
Wow.
Like yeah. But that was like I got connected with ODB and this ODB's son and Wu Tang and Run DMC's second generation and like the second generation of the pioneers from New York. Like, and I also lived in Vermont. And my fiance is also from New York. So I mean, like, she's from uptown New York, I'm upstate New York, but I got my connections in New England. But man, I have to say that he had his own connections. Uh, we met them at the same time, but prior to meeting the Wu, he was connected with, I'm sure, pretty much every DJ in New York. I'd have to
Wow.
say rest in peace to Sincere. He died of a heart condition. Um, he was the one that was out touring, performing before, and then somebody who I knew from I went to Art Institute. A lot of guys here, you'd be surprised. Art Institute is like, how guys be at the house. Art Institute
Yeah.
is just, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh my God. I went to AIU, which is right next door.
I got my MBA from AIU.
Yeah.
Really? But what year did you graduate?
I didn't graduate from there. I was there probably maybe a year, and then I ended up going to let's see what I was there. I think probably 2000 uh 3, maybe. Yeah,
Uh,
2003.
I was
Yeah.
13, 2003. I
Yeah,
went
yeah. I'm a
there. I
little around the clock.
graduated in 2014. It's funny. I got man. We got wow. That's what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I got some crazy stories from that whole era of my life. But anyway, I had let me finish. I just have to say, like, rest in peace to here. I met my I guess one of the guys who he was around with at the school, but we went on about our lives. We were cool. But me and him used to record like back in the day. But like he hit me up once I started going viral. He was like, "Hey, bro, did you go to AIA?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. Like I'm cool." Like I called him by his first name. He had, he's got his stage name. I called him by his name. Like, yes, sir. I went to AIA. Like we used to be in the booth together. What are you talking about? So anyway, so then he was like, "You want to go perform?" But weeks before this, I had been talking to guys about like different deals or whatnot, and they were talking about putting money on the table. But they were like, "Hey, if you have a hit song, you have to have experience like performing, because like you can't just have a hit song and then go perform in front of 8 million people and you haven't ever rapped before in front of people. I mean, unbeknownst to them, I had been on stage my whole life. Again, my dad was a producer, director. He made movies, did stage plays, wrote stage plays. Like so I had been on stage, but rapping is something different. And this was around like 2017, 2018, 19 maybe. And yeah, I definitely had this conversation about a week before this guy hit me up saying, Rock hit me up talking about like, hey, from Rock from the Good Rollers. He said,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
do you perform? I was like, nah, but I'm trying to. I didn't tell him the whole explanation of why, you know what I'm saying? But like, he's like, I'm trying to. I was like, I'm trying to. And then he was like, all right, well, we rolling right now. So next thing you know, we're on tour. We're in Miami. We had Philadelphia, California, um, North Carolina. We had everything lined up, right? And then the pandemic hit. Swear to God, I'm like, we're rolling though. Like we're on the road. We're in Miami. We're in these different cities. Atlanta taking over, and soon we at South by Southwest booked. Like we're like literally Airbnb's booked. I'm booking my Airbnb 2 minutes after I book my Airbnb. I'm gonna Google it, so I go Google everything. Right. I'm like, hey guys, you see that the festivals canceled because of some pandemic? And they're like, what? We just everybody pay, right? Like, I'm like the last person to pay. That's who I am. I'm gonna make sure we all like I'm gonna make sure we're serious first, and then I'm gonna pay. And then so anyway, like I do all that, and then that kind of put a halt on our tour. And then since then I haven't really been back out there. But we did manage to get an album out as a group. It's called Watch Me Work, Volume 1, I believe. Could be volume.
Watch me work.
I think it's volume 1. But
Gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, but to have the group together to do a podcast would be great. I'll call everybody and tell them some people uh they might not see eye to eye, but I'm cool with everybody and I can probably get everybody together. I mean, we had girls in the group. We had a whole ensemble. We had an orchestra of rappers and rappers, more rappers and producers and more producers. It was a dope experience. So yeah, we can get together. I'll tell them. I'll arrange see if we can get together in like a podcast room or something and have like a sit down every week or something. And we can probably once things get going, I mean, we can make it a daily basis thing. I mean, I'm in the works with some major uh labels right now as far as working on distribution deals. So I don't want to say too much about that, but
Gotcha,
once
gotcha.
that happens, I can move more freely. But
Yeah.
I don't want to like let's say I want to work with this company, I don't want to step on their toes by working with somebody who might be their competitor, somebody. And the thing with rappers is like people be like killing each other. So it's like if you kill this person's cousin, I don't want to work. And I'm trying to, and they talk about putting like millions of dollars on the table. I'm not trying to like work with the person them at all because you killed their cousin and they're trying to pay me and feed all my family.
Right. Man, that's crazy. That's one thing I think wow, that's real. That aspect, that negative aspect.
Hey man,
Um
free young thug, man.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Um so how can people find you on Instagram or whatever platform you have, SoundCloud or anything like that?
when we wrapping it up.
Hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah.
I
Before we
got
do that,
time.
yeah,
I got a couple hours
yeah.
before I got going on to this meeting.
Yeah. Hey, matter of fact, before you do that, play like maybe two minutes of your song. I got this timer on this interview. It's going to time out in 10 minutes.
Okay. If you want to restart it, we can. I got a couple hours, man. We can restart it and edit it together. I'll whip it up for you.
Yeah.
Let me yeah, I'm serious. That for real. If you want to restart it, we can. But let me play my latest video. It's called Blue Jeans. Just remember that the letter I can't leave a trace for my girl. She all tatted. Bitch, niggas be on the cup, couldn't slap it at it. You see how I walk through the sun, y'all smack it. The mommy kid, now I'm stupid, it's detention. Thought if you took her mama door, you be sweating, big moms, so cocaine, now you got a big vacation, now you're falling super slave, yeah, you throwing up big niggas, you ain't on vacation, going down, what's your specialty? I could cook you chronic, consider recipe, sufficient, come at it, it's curry, yeah, you messing with me.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, man,
Are-
we can't tap on. I don't know how much time you got, man, but I don't know. You didn't ask me the nitty-gritty details, bro. I've been out here since I was 18, man. I'm about to be 33. I mean, I know you have as well, but I'm telling you, man, if
Yeah.
you want to ask me questions, I'll answer to the best of my ability, at least.
Cool, cool. I got you. So we got, let's see, 6 minutes left. Who's your actually two questions. Any shows coming up or radio spots, and who's your Hollywood crush?
Man, I'm engaged, man. So I don't necessarily have a Hollywood crush. I mean, I had a crush on Ashanti growing up, but I don't know if she's Hollywood or not.
Right.
Hollywood crush will probably have to be like bro, who did I have a crush on in Hollywood? Man, it'll probably have to be like, oh, Carmen. Who was the girl in The Mask? Carmen
Oh,
Diaz.
yeah, Carmen Diaz. Yeah, yeah.
I just found out she was like 22 when she did that, which is crazy because I was 22 when I signed to like the future. Like that whole deal was a production deal was like Warner Brothers. So I mean, in my mind, 22 is like it makes sense for some people, but it doesn't make sense for other people. Like 22 is young as hell for some people, but for some people, 22 is like real, like super grown. Like you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. She was hot in
I
that
thought she
movie.
was like right. I thought she was like 30. Like you know what I mean? But yeah, so probably her or like Carmen Electra. Was she a porn star? I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, probably Carmen Diaz. To tell you the truth,
Mm,
that was she was pretty cool. She was pretty invigorating growing up to watch.
yeah. Hey, you said
Uh,
you are what now? Back in a second. I asked you who your crush was. You said you said you're engaged now, or I'm sorry, I didn't hear that very well.
yeah, I'm engaged. I'm engaged to be
Oh,
married.
yeah,
I'm
that's right. Yeah,
married,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm getting married again.
Congratulations,
What was
man.
the second?
I just
What was
got
the second
married
question?
December 28th. Yeah,
Uh, yeah, congratulations, brother. I mean,
yeah.
that's something to live for.
Yeah. Oh, hey, who so how can people find you on social media or SoundCloud, whatever?
But what was the second question you had asked me prior to that? It was
Any up and coming shows or radio
oh
spots?
yes, radio spots. I'm on the radio in Houston. Uh, I don't know what songs they're playing. If you look on like the Spotify radios, I'm on like the Spotify radios. If you like I don't know how many people listen to the actual like radio anymore, but like I that's an actual I don't admission of guilt. But like as far as like the radio on like the internet goes, yeah, I'm on the internet radio. Turn on the internet radio, you'll hear me. Uh, if you're on the radio down south, you'll hear me. Um, you might hear me on the radio. You go to like the club in Buckhead, you might like if you go to certain places, you'll hear me. But like I'm doing my best to like not be confined to the chitlin circuit. But
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
you can find me at my Instagram is at the.king.femi Femi. I'm also on Spotify. You can type in King Femi. I'm on whatever streaming service you have. If you type in King Femi, you'll find hundreds of songs that you love. You know,
Gotcha, gotcha.
and it's well maybe not hundreds. If you go to Spotify, if you go to Spotify and you type in King Femi, it's two of them. It's King Femi official. That's that one you might find about 100 songs, a couple hundred songs. If you go to like Femi 20 or something, whatever it's called, like it'll be like all my early music that helped me get to where I am. And that's gonna be like a lot of good dope shit.
Right. So see, we got 2 minutes and 60 seconds. I just want to say you guys got to listen to this guy. He's awesome. He's very, very talented. Um, he has a lot of great influences. He connected with a lot of great people. And I want you to expect a lot of great things to come from this guy. Real stand-up person, nice guy. Um, it's just keep the positivity going. And any advice for young people? We got 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Young people, I say do what you know is what you believe is best. I mean, find your passion, and uh, if it doesn't, you know, like find something that's gonna keep you out of trouble. Because sometimes things you love will keep get you into trouble. Like I'd say, if you know what I'm saying, if you know it's trouble, just genuinely stay away from it. And if you don't feel like it's trouble, even if it's problematic at times, maybe that's just what God had in store for you. Like you know what I mean, and do that. Like, you know what I'm saying. But let's just say your goal is to create software or something. Like you know what I mean. I say ignore what people that have a problem with what that means to you say, and just go make software. And eventually, because the thing is, nothing starts off like okay, you plant a seed into the ground to plant. I mean to grow trees, right? So you don't expect to bear the fruit from that seed. You have to plant the seed. But the thing is, people that just look at the seed don't know that it's an apple tree. Like
30 seconds.
they just
Yeah.
think it's a tree. They just think it's a seed. So plant your seeds and watch them grow.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. We got to do this again, and I wish you great success. And I'm really happy to do this interview with you, and happy to hear more from you, man. Take care, brother.
Yes, yes, Carlos. Thank you, brother. Great
No
interview.
problem. Take care.